third woman is accusing Donald Trump's pick to sit on the Supreme Court of sexual misconduct. In a sworn statement, she speaks about parties Brett Kavanaugh went to in the 80s where women were drugged and gang raped. Let's go right to Ellen Morrow, live in our Washington bureau. Ellen, in less than 24 hours, the first accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, will share her story of alleged sexual misconduct by Judge Kavanaugh in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now we're hearing about a third accuser on the eve of that testimony. What is in that sworn statement?
Well, Rashmi, this statement was posted just a short time ago by Michael Avenatti, who is the lawyer for this woman, Julie Swetnick, as well as the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, so people will recognize the name. And the sworn statement provided by Julie Swetnick says that she met Brett Kavanaugh in the early 80s. You're seeing a picture of her there at a house party in the Washington, D.C. area. She said she saw him at numerous parties during that time around Washington, D.C., where she says that Brett Kavanaugh engaged in highly inappropriate behavior with alcohol and with women. We can show you a statement from the sworn statement listing some of these allegations against Kavanaugh, saying that this behavior included pressing girls against him without their consent, grinding against girls, and attempting to remove or shift girls' clothing to expose private body parts. She also accused Brett Kavanaugh of being involved in essentially spiking the punch or using alcohol to cause girls to become inebriated and disorientated so they could then be, quote, gang raped in a side room or bedroom by a train of numerous boys. These boys included Mark Judge and Brett Kavanaugh. So some extremely damning allegations in this sworn statement from Julie Swetnick. She also says that in 1982, she was a victim of one of these so-called gang rapes. She doesn't say that Kavanaugh was involved in that activity at that time, but she does say that he was present at that party when it happened to her. She also goes on to say that Kavanaugh, according to these allegations she's making, would target girls at these parties who were either shy or alone, so perceived as particularly vulnerable. And at the end of the statement, she says that there are other witnesses she can name who would verify the claims she is making in this statement. And she also declares at the end of the statement, under penalty or perjury, that what she is saying is true and correct. We also heard from her lawyer, again, Michael Avenatti, after the statement was posted. He says that she wants a full FBI investigation. That echoes the calls for a full FBI investigation from Kavanaugh's first accuser, Christine Blasey Ford. The second accuser is Deborah Ramirez. And we know that this statement has been given to the Judiciary Committee, and that committee is reviewing these claims this morning, Rashmi.
So where do things stand now, Ellen?
Well, it's complicated. As you said, 24 hours from now, we should be seeing Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford on Capitol Hill in the Judiciary Committee hearing to go over the first accusations that he is facing. The big question mark is, does that hearing go ahead? Will this third woman coming forward, who's making these very damning allegations against Kavanaugh, will that see something change in terms of whether or not we do see that hearing tomorrow? We'll have to see what happens, really. President Trump is giving a press conference at 5 p.m. this evening. There could be developments on this. There will be developments on this, I should say, throughout the day. But assuming that this doesn't change things, we will see that hearing tomorrow morning with Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford on Capitol Hill being questioned by the Judiciary Committee. The Republican members of that committee, they're all men. They don't like the optics of them questioning this woman about these sexual assault allegations. So they have hired a female lawyer to do that on their behalf. But again, there's a big question mark now about whether or not this third woman coming forward will have any impact on whether this hearing will go ahead. We'll have to wait and see what the reaction is throughout the day. So far, Republicans have stood by their man. They have said this is all a Democratic con job, smear campaign. Brett Kavanaugh has denied all of these allegations.